Mental fitness is something that so many entrepreneurs, small business owners, people, corporates, everybody discusses, thinks about at the moment. It is a hot topic and it's something I get asked about all the time. So this video, I'm going to spend some time talking about my own mental fitness, my mental health, and the things that I do that might inspire you to find things that you can do to help maintain a certain level of mental fitness. Now, the disclaimer here is really obvious and really simple. I am not a mental health professional. I am not a psychologist. I just do the things that I can do to help maintain a certain level of mental fitness that makes sure that I am kind of at my optimum as often as I can. I fail a lot at this. I go through spates of not doing the things that I'm going to tell you about, and then I go through spates of being obsessive about the things that I'm going to tell you about. So the caveat is, do the best that you can do. Your mental health and your mental fitness should not be added anxiety to your day, your week, your month, your year. They should be things that help elevate you to a level that you want to perform at. Should also just help you get through the day. So if you're not getting through the day, maybe some of these things will inspire you. So let's get into the mental health fitness tips that I can give to you that I execute on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. Let's go. So I'm going to start with the work context. So much of our self-worth is completely wrapped up in the work that we do. And I've spent a long time and lots of work with my psychologist trying to decouple my self-worth from the work that I do, the output of that work. And this is a key starting point. If your self-worth is pegged to the things that you do, to being right, to achieving, to executing, then when you fail to execute, you will suffer. You won't feel good enough. You won't feel happy. You'll feel like a failure all the time. You cannot succeed in your job at work all the time. It's just not possible. So the first thing I did when I had mental health issues related to my work was find a professional who could help me uncouple my self-worth from my output. This is a key starting point. Once you've done that, the rest becomes a lot simpler. The next is I went to war in my own personal life and work life with being busy. Being busy is a trap. It's a trap that you get yourself into because you know what? You're going to be busy tomorrow. You're going to answer the 1,000 emails you have in your inbox and you're just going to get 1,000 more replies, plus another 1,000 emails. So you have to stop trying to be busy and you have to prioritize. You do not have a time problem, you have a priority problem. If you are constantly behind your list of to-dos, you will constantly be feeling anxious, and that anxiety will lead to a place of mental instability and mental unhealth, lack of health. No health? I don't know. So stop being busy, start doing things that matter, do hard work on the things that matter. I'll post a link up here to hard work, a video that I did about hard work. You need to work hard on the right things, on the hard things, not be busy and virtue signal that you're doing a lot of stuff, because you can be busy and do very little. You need to figure that out for yourself. Then I also became comfortable with the idea that if there's nothing to do, I'm okay to do nothing. It's okay to have an hour free in your day. It's okay to finish work at 3 p.m. if you have achieved all the things you set out to achieve. It's okay to do very little. And that leads me to my next point, which is I make time to be bored. This is important because research indicates that when you are bored and you give yourself actual time to be bored, and when I mean bored, I mean not checking Instagram, not checking TikTok, not reading a book, just sitting and letting the things you've learned percolate, you start to think long term and you start to shift your perspective on the work that you need to do. How do you do that if you're always busy? So I allocate time to be bored and let the things that I'm thinking and researching percolate and become a fully fledged idea. And then I start prioritizing the work that needs to be done around that idea. But if you're constantly moving and on to the next thing and replying to emails and talking to people and being busy and busy and busy and busy, when do you have time to breathe? So I allocate time to be bored. The next thing that I did over the last few years that helped me at work with my mental health was to focus on the work itself, not on the output. And Seth Godin is really big on this, so I've stolen a little bit from him here. He has written a book called The Practice, and the headliner is, "The practice is the work." The more you enjoy doing the work, the better you become at the work, the better the output becomes. But if you're just starting out as a writer and your first blog post is terrible, because it will be, then you're judging your value by the quality of your first blog post, but you should be judging your value by the amount of work you do, amount of practice that you do, intentional practice. Because over time, if you enjoy the practice, the work evolves and becomes better and you get feedback. So I've stopped valuing the output and the response to the output, and I've started valuing the consistent practice of the work that I like to do. Really important. This one is difficult but important. You need to say no more than you say yes. Not everything is an opportunity. You have an idea of where your career wants to go or what your business needs to do. Stop saying yes to things that send you over here. Focus on this direction. Only say yes to things that add to your vision. The second I stopped saying yes to everything, I started focusing on the things that I wanted to work on and doing that obsessively. And again, I've borrowed a little bit from somebody here. His name is Derek Sivers. If you don't know anything about Derek, go and find him. He's amazing. And he has this mantra, and he's written a book about it called Hell Yeah or No. And that's kind of how I approach business now. Either I am hell yes for this opportunity, or it's a no. If it's like a maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm interested, it's a no. It's an immediate no. And the same thing applies to sales, by the way, little side thing. If it's a maybe, it's a no. Find the yeses, find the hell yes, and then go after that. Those hell yes will be the things that inspire you. So go for the hell yes, not the maybe. I've also started thinking long term. When I say long term, longer than 6 months when it comes to an operational work life. If you are only thinking in weekly sprints, how are you ever getting ahead? How are you looking up and seeing what the future holds? I start working on things now that I can see the value in a year or 2 or 5 years, because I'm sowing the seeds for future Nick. Future Nick matters. And finally, I've focused all my efforts recently on learning. This is a big one for me because for a long time I was focused on being right. Now I'm focused on learning, and if you're focused on learning, you don't care so much about being right. In fact, being right is kind of negative for me because it means I already knew something that I'm practicing. I want to focus on learning, which means being wrong is a big part of my existence, which means that I needed to let go of my ego. And this one is huge. The second I realized that my ego was in my way, everything changed. When you focus on learning and being wrong, your ego takes a punishing if your ego is fed by being right. And this is a little segue tip for myself. My mental health really struggles when I want to be right all the time. I end up arguing with people all the time. I have very strong opinions about everything that I don't know a lot about, and I become a shittier person. So I've stopped wanting to be right, and I've started wanting to learn from other people, from the internet, from myself, from the books that I read, from the shows that I watch, from the music I listen to. I'm just obsessed with learning, and my ego is fed by learning, not by knowing that I'm right. Such a huge thing for my mental health. When I am not worried about being right, it's easier for me to apologize. And when I'm wrong, I love apologizing. I love telling people that, you know what, I made a mistake. Let's just backtrack and let's go in a different direction. That's cool. Being wrong is a superpower as long as you are able to find who is doing the right thing and follow them and go that direction. That's amazing. And so that segue from dropping your ego at work, learning a lot of stuff, takes me into the personal things that I do in my day-to-day life that help me with my own mental health. The first is I got to grips with meditation. This is ethereal and some people struggle with it. I'm not talking about spiritual meditation or religious meditation in any way, shape, or form. I am an advocate for Sam Harris's Waking Up app, and everything Sam does is phenomenal. I will put a link in the descriptions to get a 1 month free with Sam Harris's Waking Up app. What I love about what Sam does is he made meditation about your mind and your consciousness and your identity and emptying your thoughts not about finding a God or finding religion or finding spirituality, because that's what's always put me off about meditation. For me, meditation, 10 minutes a day, that's it, 10 minutes in the morning, is just about emptying my mind, calming down my emotions, and moving forward with the things that I need to do in the day. That's it. My anxiety stems from too much going on in my brain, too many things to think about, too many fires going off, and meditation just helps me settle that every morning. I do it as often as I can, sometimes 4 times a week, sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes once a week. Just do the best you can. Next up, daily exercise. I've oscillated between immensely insane exercise regimes to never exercising, and the thing that I found that works for me is 30 minutes a day, every day, no matter what it is. Push-ups, cardio, walking, whatever it is, 30 minutes of exercise every single day. This helps me sleep better. It helps me justify the things that I do in the day, like maybe eat something that I shouldn't eat. Then I feel better because I've done a little bit of exercise. So it's a mental trigger for me as well as a physical trigger for me, and it helps provoke my sleep. Figure out when you can work out the best, whether it's in the morning, the evening, between lunch, whatever it is, but do some exercise every single day. The next one is very real and new for me, but I struggle with sugar a lot. I am fully addicted to sugar, more so than the average human. I can easily finish off a big slab of chocolate, have a brownie for dessert on my dessert, finish that off with a massive Coke, and then try and go to sleep. That's just one day. I can do that 7 days a week, all year long. It's a wonder that I am not hugely diabetic and struggle with my weight. So I've cut out sugar as much as I can. Now, obviously, it's difficult to do it for everything, so I've cut out excess sugar. I'm trying to not eat chocolates and sweets and all the junk food that I usually shove in my face. I've replaced that with fruit and exercise. The reason I've done this is because recently I've discovered that sugar actually makes me depressed, physically depressed. I struggle to wake up, I struggle to exercise, all I want to do is eat more sugar, which sends me further into the depression. So removing sugar is an obvious thing for someone like me to do. It is hard, but it's obvious. The combination of no sugar and exercise means that I sleep exceptionally well. And after a week of no sugar and exercise and brilliant sleep, I feel like a new human being. I'm creative and I'm focused and I smash through my to-dos. When I know that and then revert back to being a sugar addict, it's very rough on my mental health. So I'm trying to remove sugar as much as I can. I struggle with that one, to be honest. It's hard, but I'm trying. Relationships are another massive source of mental health issues, and I am ruthless with relationships. I cut them out when I believe that they are negative. I cut them out when they are not additive. I cut them out when they are not positive. And I mean cut them out. There are very few relationships that are salvageable when the other person is rotten inside. So you need to do the hard work on your end. Friends, family, colleagues, whoever it is, some random troll on Instagram, just block, delete, unfollow, move on. There are lots of good human beings in the world. You need to find them and surround yourself with them. Don't surround yourself with people who drag you down and beat you with shitty experience. The next one is hard, but it's really important. I've stopped taking a lot of things personally. If I send someone a message and they don't reply to me, it's not me. They're busy, like I am. They've got a life. If I send someone an email and they don't reply for a week, I follow up. It's not me, it's them. They're busy. They've got a life, just like me. So not taking things personally means that nothing offends me, nothing offends my ego. I'm doing my thing. And if you want to come along for the ride, you'll engage with me and move on. It has also helped me just reply to people in a very honest and open way. And then the final tip for mental health for me is to lower your expectations. Just generally, I lower my expectations with everything. When I send out a sales email, I expect that it probably won't do well, so I need to send 10 more. When I pitch for a gig, I expect that it'll be a difficult pitch, and then when it's easy, I'm surprised. When I talk to someone and I make a new friend, I expect that they will not be as engaged as I will, and then I'm always pleasantly surprised. If you expect people to be superhuman all the time, you will constantly be disappointed, and that kind of disappointment is a massive weight on your mental health. So just remove it. just stop expecting so much. Expect the bare minimum and you will always be surprised. That is not to say that you shouldn't want your close people to be amazing. They should be amazing and you should want to be amazing to them, but just expect that they're also having a tough time. Just expect that things are difficult for them as much as they are for you. And with that shift in expectation, you will absolutely live a happier and more fulfilled life. So that's it. Those are my tips right now for how I try and keep my mental health in check. Please comment below. I would love to hear what you're doing. I'd love to hear your feedback on what I'm doing. And if you think that these things can help you, try them out and let me know if they did help you. For now, like and subscribe, and please share this with someone who you think could use some help with their mental health. There is a workbook in the descriptions below where I try and help you overcome the 5 most common reasons that people don't start businesses. It's a free workbook that comes along with a 5-day accountability email series with me, keeping you accountable and moving you across the line to start that business. So download, click that link, and join me while we build businesses together. And as always, it's up to you to do the work. I can't wait to see what you put out into the world. But until then, see you next time.